Hello and welcome back to Out in the Wash, the podcast where we take EastEnders, Coronation Street and Emmerdale, give them a good rinse, hang all the drama out to dry. I'm Jane, this is episode 3, and honestly, the soaps have been busy, so let's get straight into it. Right, we're going to open with EastEnders. Kat's back. Jasmine, when Kat comes in, right, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but Jasmine really changed her face up. Like, it was like she was really forcing that smile, but it wasn't like so obvious. There was just this subtlety of, okay, cool, great. And so it just felt like she was really forcing it. So Kat's back. She's back from Corfu. She's not found Chrissy. She's knocking back some vodka downstairs. She thinks that Chrissy's back in the country, and when like Kat and Sam kind of question Jasmine about it, Jasmine's like, "Oh, I didn't really meet her. Like we only talked over like text or phone or whatever." But I think there was something in that was that a lie in itself. Are we supposed to know that's a lie? I think did that start to sow some seeds with Kat? Sam makes a point about Kat's vodka breath, and I just think that was fair. Like Alfie berated her, I was like, "No, she's telling the truth there." She's been warned that Anthony's death notice, this is Jasmine, that Anthony's death notice will be in the paper, and she and Kat's like, well, we'll go see Zoe, in prison today, but Jasmine's like, oh, I don't know if that's like a good idea, so she just like discusses it with Oscar. So this first part's going to be mainly like, I think that Kat's family and the Brannins are really like all come together this week, so yeah, first part's going to be all that. So she's discussing with Oscar whether she should go see Zoe, and he reminds her that no one actually came to see him in Young Offenders, so he thinks it's a good idea. And when they do go see Zoe, I noticed anyway that Zoe just looked tired. She seemed pleased to see them, and Jasmine lies again and says that everybody's been really great to her, including Lily. And I think it's not technically true, is it? And Kat has no idea what's gone off with Lily at all. They sort of question Zoe as to what Richie said, and it turns out that the best thing Zoe can do is to plead guilty to manslaughter, which it's preying on Jasmine there because she knows that Zoe didn't do it, that it was her. Kat's begging her to plead not guilty, that she thinks she'll get away with self-defense, but Zoe reckons that if she risks that and she's found guilty, then that carries maximum sentence for prison. I wondered at this point, was Zoe onto Jasmine? And she's just seeing how far this gets dragged out. I mean, it's a long game for Zoe to play. Why was she not saying anything? But yeah, I just wondered at that point whether she suspected anything of Jasmine, although she's still saying she wants to protect her. Jasmine says that she won't run away before Zoe gets out. So even then, she's like, "No, I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry, it's fine. I'll stick around." But Kat's questioning why she doesn't want to help Zoe, which I think, again, those seeds are being planted with Kat. Like, why is this? Why is that? Hold on, this doesn't seem right. There's very little reaction from Jasmine when Zoe says she's pleading guilty and that's it. Like, she just keeps a very straight poker face. And then later on, Jasmine tells Kat that she will talk to the police and she'll help Zoe. But even then, I was like, she's no intention of speaking to the police because it'll start questions about her and everything. So she's covering her own back there. But to out and out say to Kat, yeah, I'll go to the police, but don't come with me. Kat, what are you doing? Like, that's sus. That's sus, right? So, no intention. Jasmine says she blames herself for showing up and bringing all this misery to Walford. It's like, well, actually, it's been quite a bit going around. She says she has to leave and she wants Oscar to come with her. Now, I thought this week had a lot of good music choices. Tuesday opened with Should I Stay or Should I Go, while we saw Oscar in the marketplace looking for Jasmine. Goes into the cafe and they're discussing whether or not they're going. Well, Jasmine wants to go, but is Oscar going with her? And she kind of guilt trips Oscar at this point about going. And it starts to click, I think, for Jasmine that him not going, she needs to start doing things to his family and break him away from his family. Otherwise, he's never going to leave. But I think, and then Max comes in, and then he can see that something quite odd's happening here about how, Jasmine wants to leave so soon, but why? Like, she's just found everyone, and then she's suddenly going. Like, that's a bit weird. Oscar disagrees with him and goes to tell Jasmine that, right, my dad says that you're weird, so yeah, I'll definitely be going with you now. And after a bit of research, he starts to realise the costs and how impossible it will be to actually leave, like, immediately. They'll need at least a month to get any sorts of funds together, but he's working on the store. Like, no, it's going to take more than a month, surely. Again, Jasmine tells Kat that she went to the police. She absolutely didn't. Max overhears this and comes to the obvious conclusion that Jasmine shouldn't be going anyway. He thinks she's in trouble, which it's not entirely false. It's not entirely true. But yeah, so he's growing even more suspicious of her now. And then along comes Max's biggest, who I think is going to be his biggest ally in this. Incredibly, it's Cindy. Now, Cindy hates Max. Cindy hates Jasmine. So I think later on, Cindy says the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But truly, which one is the enemy here? Because the enemy of her enemy, Max, is Jasmine. So that means Jasmine's her friend. But she means the enemy of Jasmine's enemy is Max. Yeah, that was confusing. So Cindy fills Max in on Jasmine pushing her down the stairs because he didn't know about that bit. Whilst Jasmine's on the phone to her adopted mum trying to get some money out of her so she can leave. Max here realises this and realises it's not a holiday. This is like a one-way ticket. He's taking Oscar with her. Kind of feels like she's going on the run, dragging him along. So he accosts her at the bottom of the Vic stairs where he threatens to just, oh, my brother's a cop. I'll just question him about the statement. And she then kind of pushes him away and accuses him of trying to kiss her. And the accusation is done right in front of Oscar and right in front of Kat. Now, at first, Oscar doesn't really know who to believe because it's completely plausible that Max would do a thing like that. He's got form. Once again, Cindy is privy to the arguments between the Brannins and Jasmine, or the arguments between the Brannins themselves, because she's still living in that house. She's bought like Jimmy a baby grow, which I actually thought was quite suitable. Oh, it's not the Arctic. Yes, it's pretty cold right now. They didn't really think that one through. But then Jasmine's accusation of Max also, it's setting those cogs whirring in raising Kat's suspicions even more about what she's capable of. Lauren talks to Oscar. She tries to reason with him. A lot of the rest of the week is the push and pull of like trying to speak to Oscar, trying to stay here for the family. And that, having Oscar around has been so, so good for Lauren. And I'd be sad to see him go. And she spends the rest of the week going to and fro between Max and Oscar, getting involved, trying to make him stay, as well as kicking off. She was so arrogant, but also so guilty. Jasmine did when Lauren went and kicked off her in the Vic. And really, I thought if Kat wasn't suspicious, she would have stopped Lauren from doing that from the off. No one speaks to my granddaughter that way. But she kind of let Lauren have her say, and then that was it. Kat ends up speaking to Jean over video call. Jean's obviously living at Lynn's. Mo's there. Telly's blaring loud. But surely Telly blaring loud isn't a new thing to Mo. I've seen old scenes where this has happened with Mo. She'll have the TV blaring loud. But it was an odd thing to put in. But I suppose it's heightened up Jean's state of agitation and what's going on with her. So Kat thinks... I think those words that Jean spoke started to get to Kat about how to be with Jasmine, how to keep her close, how to keep a coolness around her, play that long game. And it can't be easy to hear when you've just found out that this is your kind of brand new first granddaughter who you don't know anything about. You've missed out on her growing up, but then someone's telling you that she's not a good person, but you've known this person ages. You've known the person telling you that your granddaughter is evil ages, and you know she can be a bit... But we know she's right on the money with this. So it's hard to see that. But I really do think that Kat's suspicions are being raised. And she kind of needs to block Alfie out at this stage and work it out for herself. She's not stupid. Kat's not blind. She's been here before. This isn't her first rodeo. Linda also comes out as an ally for Max, which is interesting this week. Given what we've seen in the flash forward, obviously, Linda still wants to have some sort of relationship with Max. Nothing too spectacular, but she's she gets him, she understands him, she knows he's not perfect. but she sort of believes him over Jasmine. Cindy agrees to work with Max when Jasmine actually, and it's completely for Cindy's benefit, this. It's an absolute selfish move on Cindy's benefit because Jasmine threatens to locate the Fords and let them know, oh, you know that's Cindy Beale? Yeah, she's down the road. So, and she's like, you got to help me. So it's a completely selfish reason for Cindy to get involved. It's not even in the end to protect her grandchildren from having their uncle around, you know, anything like that. It's not for Oscar's benefit. It's completely for Cindy's own benefit herself. Again, this week, it felt like a lot of repeated scenes going around in circles. There was a lot of repeated scenes around the cafe again, around the market store. I get we've only got a limited set, but there are expansions happening. But yeah, just the honest thing, the thing that got me the most was the thing with the hidden phone. There were so many holes in that. So many holes. It was obvious. You didn't even do a good job of hiding it. There are other ways. We have tiny mics now, guys. No one could, like, surely someone's selling a tiny mic on the market. Surely. Like, it's just, why do we keep doing this? Oh, I'll just record you. And at least it was like a live sort of recording that Oscar could hear it then and there. So that plan backfires. Where's Max finding all his money as well? Oh, yeah, 5,000. Here you go. Actually, he keep the money? He kept the money that Ian gave him, did he? Or did he throw it back down? I can't remember now. See, this is why I have to write everything down, because I just forget everything. Whose idea was it to give a person who forgets a podcast? So Lauren apologises to Jasmine in front of Oscar and pleads a case for them staying, brings up the fact they need to, like, get funds together. But then when Oscar's disappeared, she backs down on this and gives Jasmine a warning. Next thing we know, Jasmine's barged away into the B&B and gives Max a warning. But she doesn't realise that Cindy's kind of hidden away in the doorway. So what's next for this whole saga? I feel like it was a very heavy Jasmine, Max, Oscar week. So I've tried to submit it down into a small chunk there. But what do you think? What's next? Where does Jasmine go from here? So another thing that's going on is Elaine unveils a massive new sign outside Peacock Palace. Is that what it's called? That's what I'm calling it anyway. I do apologise if that's not right. Ian calls the peacock statues and the sign a monstrosity. We learn the peacock statues are called Thelma and Louise, but this leads to a bit of a gaffe on Ian's part that he tries to insult them with a joke or an insult about falling off a cliff. Which probably at any other time wouldn't. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's Mick's birthday. Yeah, great. Well done, Ian. They do later raise a glass to Mick in the Vic. Alfie gives a toast to the second best landlord the pub has ever known. His words, not mine. Jury's still out on that one. I'd say third. But then Alfie, he's not really going to pay homage to Dirty Den, is he, after what he did to Zoe? So, no. For him, it's second. Would we say third? Maybe. Do we count Phil as a landlord at some stage? He was the landlord when he sold it, but then Phil's not his biggest. Yeah. Let me know. Drop me an email, drop a thing in the comments. What's your ranking of pub landlords within EastEnders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, who would you say? So just after the toast, Ian enters with a massive bunch of flowers. Huge. Like, I've never seen such a big bunch of flowers on a soap until, like, Corrie. I'll jump back to that later, but yeah, this was a big week for florists in Corrie and EastEnders. So it's a way of an apology for the cliff gaff. They are chuffing huge. Is there going to be more to this? Like, I've never really seen much of his interaction with Linda. I don't think there's going to be anything going on there. Please don't quote me if that happens in a few months. I see it more that this is an absolute enemies to lovers trope with Elaine, which is a bit weird. But, you know, it's EastEnders. The back and forth between him and Elaine really does feel like it's going in a weird direction. So Ian's apologised, but then Elaine kind of gets his back up again and he puts a call in and sends round Walford's least favourite politician, Councillor Barker. Councillor Barker goes around to Peacock Palace. Remember him? He tried to shut down the market last year. Barker sets an ultimatum that the sign needs removing by lunchtime. Now, okay, this is where I get a bit nerdy about this. You wouldn't send a councillor. You send a council officer. You wouldn't really send a councillor. Like, he'd probably end up being called in to fight for Elaine to keep the sign. Well, maybe, but personal judgment. it wouldn't come to this straight away to get the counsellor themselves involved. It would just go straight to a council officer. But, and I'm kind of with Johnny on this about the sign. It's too big. It's too big. It doesn't fit in. It's in the way. So Honey gives Elaine the goss on Barker and everything that Ruby put him through and got on him, to kind of get some leverage with him. And Elaine and Councillor Barker come to an agreement when they realise they've both got things they'd like to hide, such as illegal planning applications and affairs. It doesn't go down well with Ian, and there's like an incident with some leaflets of Ian's, and once again the two are at loggerheads. So yeah, like I said, enemies to lovers, anyone. I noticed it's quite an old picture on the leaflets of Ian. Like, I swear it's a picture from before Lucy died. Harvey does try and intervene and try and get them to have a truce, but it goes nowhere. It was never going to happen. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see your thoughts on that as well. Okay, moving on to the Panasars. Vinny, I'd straight like to ask you, what is a HMI cable? Can you not say HDMI cable? HDMI cable. HMI cable. HDMI cable. No, definitely put the D in there. It's not what you think it was. Nugget's discharged from hospital, and it's all hands on deck at the new flat. Priya wants everything to kind of feel normal for him, make him feel safe. She's really like coddling him at the minute, and it doesn't seem to bother her. She's so unstressed about this whole like Ravi did it thing. Like, she's just like, la 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 la, I've got my son home, I've got to look after Ivani, I can't keep tabs on them all. La, la. You got 2 kids, 2 teenagers, like, I can't keep tabs on them all. Well, you've got enough eyes in this room between you. You've got Gran and a wife, you've got Uncle Vinny. Like, what? It's not okay. Yeah. When Nugget returns, he's feeling quite insecure about how bad he looks. He's not feeling too confident about himself. But Priya tries to encourage Ravi to engage with him. But Ravi can't bring himself to. He's still feeling like disgusted with himself, ashamed. And it's like they've both got shame. Nugget thinks that Ravi's ashamed of him, but actually Ravi's ashamed of himself. Ravi does finally sit down to play on the console, but they can't agree on a game, and it kind of blows up when Nugget asks him why Ravi didn't come to see him in hospital. Priya comes in and kind of de-escalates the situation, but Ravi seems desperate to tell Nugget the truth. But in the end, he kind of goes for a line of, oh, I'm just proud you're not like me, because that means you're a good person. You're worth 10 of me. So he bottles it again. He has so many opportunities to tell him, but either Priya's telling him to shut his mouth, or he's like, I can't do it, which, you know. But again, there are so many eyes in that room, but Priya's so unbothered. She's not really stressing about the lying. She's like, yeah, my son's home, it's fine. But then she wasn't the one that attacked him. Like, I don't know. You think she'd be trying to force a way of, yeah, okay, let's be honest here. And I think, once again, and we'll come back to this with Ricky and Sam, these kids are dying for honesty. That's all Lexi's ever wanted, is for the adults to be honest with her. She's saying, I get that you want to protect me, but, you know, I can deal with this. I'm not as young and as babyish as you think. They encourage Nugget to get outside, take some fresh air, and kind of build his confidence up again, but no one really goes with him. There's no structure in what he needs to do. Or we'll take a small walk, we'll do this far, and, you know, they just go, no, go play outside, blah, 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 blah. And he ends up having a panic attack in the Square Gardens. He's found by Denzel and comforted by Suki and Eve. And Eve later tries to apologise for encouraging Nugget to go outside, but Ravi just sticks the knife in. And these two will never be fully gone friends, because he sticks the knife in, going, well, you're not a parent. Wow. He does quickly apologise, but it's not nice to hear. So yeah, that's the Panasars kind of summed up this week. Really, what do you think about Priya just not being bothered that she's living under a roof with a man who attacked her own son? I know she knows he was drugged, but what has he got to do for her to see? He's got such a hold over her that I don't even think he realises he has. And they're just lying to the kids, and they're lying to Suki and Eve as well. They're coming across, they're cooking. Who is looking after the van? Who's running that? Who is running that bat van this week? No sausage cobs for you all this week. Sorry, nothing. Okay, let's move on to the Mitchells. It's Phil's birthday this week, and Raymond's decided he wants a party for him. So everyone comes around. You've got Jack and Denise there. You've got Ricky and Amy. There's no Lexi. There's no Janet and Will. I don't know. There wasn't. I'm going to have to go back. I didn't even notice that Lexi wasn't there. I think because a lot of the time Amy kind of takes that role. But yeah. I don't know, where has Lexi gone to see Jay? No idea. But yeah, no Lexi. So Sam waltzes in, and typical of her, she's forgotten to even get Phil a card. And Ricky's like, what the hell is going on with you? Are you leaving again? What? Just tell me. Step up. What is going on? And she's like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But after speaking with George, he kind of gets that something's going on. And he says, you've got to, well, he sees the leaflet fall out of her bag. And he says, this kid's had to grow up quick without you around, with having baby Charlie. Maybe you should tell him. He's not 5 years old. You can't keep this from him forever. So he does deserve to be told. And quite rightly, she does. And Ricky steps up like we knew he would. He acts very mature. He's never really asked much of Sam. He just wants her to be his mum. He's not asking for the world. He's just like, just be there. Just be present. And I'm really hoping that, as sad as this storyline could possibly be, I hope that these two grow much closer. Much like Lexi, like I've said, they just want honesty from their parents. And at the same time, Sam's also trying to dissuade Phil from taking Nigel to Portugal. Now, I was under the impression this wasn't a short break, but now as it's playing out, Phil's like, now he's going to see out his days in Portugal. What? Okay, how's that going to work? You're going to get does Brexit not happen in Walford? You got 90 days? What? I don't know how they'd get away with that, but then it's Phil, so yeah, you can just do it. No one knows how long Nigel's got, so he could be there a week, he could be there years, months, days, who knows. Sam's anxious about both the operation to remove her lump and everything that comes after it, and while she's kind of coming out, the op goes well, but I think while she's coming round, she kind of lets slip about Phil's plan for Nigel, and she does it in front of George. Now at this point, George has had a little chat with Denise, who's like, something's up with Phil, please check what's going on. And he's like, oh, that's it then. So he sends Denise round to Phil's. She finds the pack bag for Portugal, just one bag. Not even a few suitcases. So this man does not have the best of plans. I think if Phil Mitchell can throw money at something and get some stuff there, or I guess he has stuff in Portugal already. That place, I don't know, what is it, timeshare somewhere, but one nafty little holdall, nah. So she kind of gets Phil to first open up about his concerns, and he tells her I don't want him going into the home. And he's quite harsh on Julie. He's like, oh, she's just waiting for him to die. It's like, are you blind? Maybe he is. Maybe he's quite blind when it comes to Nigel. But she loves the bones of that man, and you're just taking him away. He doesn't quite see that. And Denise thankfully reminds him that this time he can't push everyone away and do it by himself. Where did that get you last time? You can't just run away from your problems. We're all here to face Nigel's future with you. And sometimes you can't do that. You're not Superman. And yeah, we'll skip. That was kind of coming in the end of the week. And as we saw, this week ended on Phil sends Nigel off to pack because he's discussed with him, do you understand what we're doing? Do you get it? But Nigel doesn't. You can see that. He's just going along with, yeah, Phil. Much like most of his life, just going along with Phil because he needs that friendship. And he stands up to him a little bit. And we saw that in the kind of Nigel's episode with the younger Phil and Grant. But yeah, he's just going along with it because he doesn't understand what's going on. But as Nigel goes off and Phil thinks the taxi's there, in comes Mark Jr. crashing through that door. We knew it was coming. We'd seen him in the flash forward. So yeah, it seems a good casting. So we'll see what happens with Mark Fowler Jr. I've seen a few photos. It looks good what's coming up. Right, last bit is Honey trying to play a bit of Cupid between Nicola and George this week. She comes up with a complete lie that Will has been bitten by a dog. They kind of double date at one point. They're having a pint together. I think Billy at that point is desperate to sit George down and kind of, I need to tell you something. Let me tell you something. But Honey comes up with this complete lie that Will's been bitten by a dog, so she and Billy have got to go, leaving Nicola and George to be together alone. They see right through it. They weren't born yesterday. It was a terrible plan, Honey. Get better. Billy tells Honey about Teddy's warning. He's like, I've got to tell George, this is what I'm going to do. He has to know. And he does. He passes on the warning, Teddy's warning about Nicola to George over. Is it over a pint later? No, it was in the middle of the square. He was going to do it over the pint. Now, the thing is, I get it. I get that you feel you've got to tell them, but I know we didn't see much of Nicola and Teddy together, but Nicola and George feel much less toxic. Like, I know yeah, we've seen it, and I fully get it. She can be deceitful and lying, but she's really positive with George. Like, he doesn't need anything from her at all. He's not out to get her. They're just two single adults at that state. Was she? Yeah, they are now anyway. Two grown adults just found each other in life. They're not that old. So I don't think they're terrible together. But George does take it on board, and he's a little bit cold with Nicola later. And I suppose George is protecting himself. I mean, we can see he's not made the best choices in previous, but the whole Cindy thing wasn't his fault. He didn't know she was under witness protection. You know, he probably does love Cindy still and had children with her and everything. So this is it's another just thought that he seems pretty cold. But it definitely resonates with him, and he kind of goes cold with Nicola, which confuses her. And even more so later when she sees George and Sam in the street. Now she's thanking him for like, oh yeah, Ricky, that was really helpful what you said. Thank you for the advice. But you can't have two blonde Mitchell women wearing red. You just can't. So, but Nicola kind of sees it, and then she does seem mad about it. And she offers George, he later finds out that his offer on Walford East hasn't gone through because it's about 10k short. Nicola offers to loan it him. She doesn't even say take it. She's like, no, this is a loan. You pay me back that with a 5% stake on top. I get it. You need this. You'll do great. She's not even like trying to like pity him. She's like, I think you've got this. Like, and he turns her down, given Billy's advice, but this throws her a little. And then this time it's Sam to turn to for George to get advice about taking the money. She sees it as more of an investment on Nicola's part, and it benefits them both. He agrees to Nicola's offer, but he wants it all above board and legit. Signed. And she kind of makes a joke about make a deal with me, watch your kneecaps, that sort of thing, which, yeah, fine. She's got previous with this sort of thing. You don't mess with her, but I also don't think you mess with George either. Sometimes. And he does kind of know what she's done to Ravi, so he knows what she's capable of, but he also knows that she was doing it to protect her own family. So it's interesting there. Okay, let's move on to Emmerdale. Big busy time in Emmerdale. This has been the week where we find out who killed Ray. So, as per last week, we know that our suspects are Laurel, Arthur, Rona, Marlon, Ross, April, Dylan, Paddy. I don't think we left anyone out. They're all, a lot of these, so we have like 4 episodes in a row where it starts with the same thing. Jay questioning them all in the street like we saw last week, and then we see Ray in his house with Celia's body in front of him. He's wiped the knife. But so Monday starts with kind of Laurel's story. Dylan's told her everything. She questions whether Ray had ever included Arthur in those criminal activities. He's like, no, what are you talking about? He heads off to work, and then we see like Marlon stood watching them with a knife in his pocket. Ray's banging on Laurel's door. She managed to like push him out. She's like, you're not coming in, but he gets in the side door. He just gets through quietly. No noise in it. He's there. And he admits what he does. He's nowhere to hide anymore. He admits what he does to Laurel. They go into the living room. They have this massive chat about talking about his granddad, and he's trying to like get through to her. I'm not this bad person you think I am, but I also am. He's taken her phone so she can't call the police or anyone else. But she's like, I need the loo. Please let me go to the loo. And he's like, okay. And she spends the rest of the time, she ums and ahs, I think, about hitting him with the poker from the fire. And he's like, really? You're going to do that? That's not really your style, is it? And he leaves, and she tries to get him to go to the police, save yourself. And they're spotted by Arthur. When he leaves, they're spotted by Arthur, and Arthur's coming out the shop. I mean, it's been a while. This kid takes his time getting to work. He's come out the cafe, the shop, whatever. Arthur watches Ray get into his car. Ray makes a call. He's asking for out. He's like, get me a passport. I'm done. I need to get out of here. Who's he ringing? Who was it at this stage? He's got a big bag of cash, and Arthur's like banging on his window, gets him to open the door. Nicola's at Laurel. She's like, why have you let him go? That's stupid. Like, get him back here. And all this time, Arthur and Ray are arguing. Arthur's fallen on the floor. Ray's calling him weak. All the time, they're being watched by Graham. I think at this stage, we find out Arthur like holds up a rock. He's threatening to like hit Ray, hurt Ray with it. But Arthur, what are you going to do? Turns out we found out later that Arthur steals, he does something to Ray, or Ray goes off, and Arthur takes the bag of money and cash out of Ray's car and runs back home. And yeah, I'll come back to that because that's mad. Okay, so that was kind of Monday. So it doesn't look like Laurel's killed Ray. Tuesday was Rona's episode, which was mainly all about Graham showing up at Rona's door and telling her how his death was faked. And as soon as he enters that cottage, he's basically torturing her. He's like placing a hand over her mouth to stop her alerting anyone. And he says that he knows what Rona's been through and what Piers did and everything. And I'm like, but you've just shoved your hand over her mouth. Are you what? Turns out she's missed a phone call from him, but with everything else going on, I'm guessing the phone call didn't. And even if the phone had come up and gone, Graham is calling you, she would be like, this is a joke. This is messy. Bye bye. But she's missed a phone call from him. You wouldn't recognise it anyway. You wouldn't answer it. I don't know how she didn't like throw up or pass out when she saw him. She was proper like, let me touch your face. I was like, oh, this is where we're going with it, is it? Let me touch your face. Touch your face. Yeah, and one thing it made me think, him and Al were a really grubby little team. I'd forgotten about that. Like, I think that was an old scene. Like, it looked like old Kim. Didn't look like current Kim, if everyone knows what I mean. Didn't look like current Graham either. Like, oh, he looking svelte. And it was just this storyline. It's just very convenient that he's got this friend from the SAS who was able to help and rope in the detective that we saw last week. And like, so you're telling me that underneath these leaves, that's just his torso. He's just like one of those punching, boxing mannequins. And in the last 6 years, nobody who was bribed has like spoken out and gone, oh, that did see, they've fallen out with someone and gone, you know what? I was bribed and I need to tell this story. So Rona doesn't tell Marlon that Graham's there when he like pops back in I think he grabs a knife at that point. He pops back in and she's like hiding Graham, which is just mad. So I'm wondering, are we really going to go through months of who will Rona choose? She said she didn't tell Marlon that Graham was there to protect Marlon, but is that actually the truth? There's also a line about her taste not having changed when he makes her a cup of tea. And she notices that he's never forgotten Leo, and he knows about Ivy, so he knows that Rona's coming with this whole family now, which she was before, but there's an extra one. Interestingly, he does say that he's glad things have worked out with Marlon, which to me is not the same as I'm glad you're with Marlon. No, I'm just glad things have worked out, but I can come spoil this if I need to. He asked for a photo of Ray and Celia so that he can go track them down. So he knows of them, but he doesn't know what they look like. Okay. I don't get that bit. I still don't understand how he's found out that April's in trouble. Something's not adding up here. It's not making sense. Unless I've missed a bit, which we all know that's probably true. So he knows not what they look like. She provides the photos. God knows how. Oh, the one of Ray and Laurel. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. She provides the photos. 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 She provi Oh, that was weird. Yeah, that was weird. That there would just be this photo of her. Oh, we're really happy and smiling. Been going out like what, 2 days? It's, yeah, but it all adds to the plot. I still don't fully understand how, say, he's come to be involved in all of this. All whilst we know that Jodie, Shona's sister from Coronation Street, is still tied up in the back of his van. Also, my new mantra is definitely going to be improvise, adapt, overcome. Might get that tattooed. I wonder if Billy still runs that same route. Because I bet he does. Because it's Billy. Yeah. Like I said, I'm still very uneasy about this whole storyline because it's so far-fetched. And interestingly, it actually came up on my Facebook memories this week that I'd talked, because, I've always talked about soaps on social media, whatever. I came up with my status, in your Facebook status memories, that 6 years ago we found out who killed Graham. That didn't age well. And it's just odd to see to the day. I love that everyone that seemed to find out about Graham, I think when Joe told Dawn that he'd seen her, and then when Graham turned up, they're both like, but Priya and Billy found you. Like, yeah, we all saw it. So it was involving the audience in that, we saw it, they saw it, what the hell. So good that they remembered that. I've also realised this week that I didn't realise that Rona and Marlon had 2 different living rooms. Nah. I didn't. And I know it's so obvious now that there's the one, the little, they're both little, but there's the one at the vet's end, and then there's another one. So double reception rooms kind of thing with the kitchen diner in the middle. I didn't realise there were 2 different rooms. So yeah, that's on me. I still can't tell the difference between them, and I've just realised there's actually 2. Anyway, moving on to Wednesday, which is kind of Marlon's episode. And by this point, right, I was so confused. I think I still need, and even though I've actually watched all episodes twice this week because I didn't do my notes and I needed to, so that's why this is going out a bit late as well, because it's been a lot. It's actually quite draining to watch them back to back. I'm like, especially when you've seen it already. But I just had to be sure I noticed everything and I wasn't missing anything. I probably have. Marlon's episode, I need a full uncut version of where Ray's been and where he's gone, because there's still a gap in my mind between Arthur seeing Ray come out of Laurel's and then he goes over to him. But that doesn't kind of happen because stuff gets in the way. It was feeling jumpy, it was feeling confused. So we see Graham leave Rona's out this little side vet store thing, which again, I didn't even realise there was a bench out there. That's mad. I'm learning so much. And then Paddy's like, Marlon, do you want to come for lunch before I go to Lincoln? And then it flips to Marlon being pushed by Ray up to the farm. So he's found him, he's located him, he's standing in front of his car. He's like, yeah, you run me over, fine, I don't care. Find my daughter. Where is she? Tell me what happened. Then we move on to Dylan. Now, Dylan's just spilling his guts out everywhere, telling everyone everything. He's like, I've had enough. You need to know. So he's confessing to Paddy about everything and how he's just told it all to Laurel too. And honestly, Fred Kettle, you have knocked it out of the park this week. You are such a good actor. Like, you are constant. And I just hope that one day Dylan gets to actually stop having to be in a state. He's in a state of constant vigilance and that he gets to relax. Like, he's constantly looking around him, looking who's watching him. What's going on? I'm looking around. Dun, 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 dun. Relax, kid. Just have that day where you don't have to look over your shoulder. Sleep. Like, it's going to be all right. And I suppose that comes from being on the streets. And he makes Dylan feel like such a whole character. And I will say this about Ray as well. Like, that is a villain that I was desperate for a redemption arc for. It wasn't a love to hate. It was you're not a nice character, but you really could be. And I'm sorry that you had to die. I'm sorry that was the way they went, because he brought realness to it. Again, I'll go into this in a bit, like, about Ray and what I feel he brought. And this wasn't, there's some villains that I go, skipping this. Nah, I'm done. I'm done. Nah, never skipped a Ray scene. Never really skipped a Celia scene either. She's freaking genius, like crazy. I would have loved to know more of her backstory as well and why she ended up like that, because it comes from their past. It definitely did in Ray's case. So anyway, so he finally tells Paddy about Bear being kept up at Ray and Celia's farm. Now Marlon is watching Ray to be stopped, and he stopped. Marlon's watching Ray, And we see him stop. We see Ray stop from entering Laurel's, and then we see him get in that kitchen door, and Marlon's following him. Right, but Marlon's armed with a kitchen knife. Right? Why am I laughing? It's not funny, but I just thought they really missed a trick. I'm just immature at this point. When Ross caught Marlon and said, "What are you doing with a knife?" I don't know why Marlon did go, "I'm a chef." It was a kitchen knife as well. I just go, "I'm a chef." Duh. Anyway, go away. But no. Marlon tells Ross everything. Like, everyone's telling everyone everything this week. It's literally all coming out in the wash. Yeah, this is why I did it. Like, just everyone's just spilling. They're sick of it. They've had enough. No one's scaring them anymore. Everyone that needs to know what's going on does know. And in one sense, they're kind of united in this. Everyone is now knowing what Ray and Celia have done. And if we'd just taken a breather, we really could have thought about this. But it went the way it went. So Ross is like, typical Ross, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. You've done a rubbish job, Marlon. Why don't you tell me? I need to go find April. Let me sort this. And I need to find Ray. So he heads to Butler's and he gets the shotgun from the cabinet, but he kind of makes it look like it could be a robbery. Now, the thing is that we know that later on that gun ends up in both Aaron's hands and John's. But no one ever talks about where it came from, what it was doing. So it just looks like maybe John got into Butler's and took it out of the cabinet. I don't know where everyone is at this day. I suppose Marlon and Kane are driving them to the airport because this is like right before the crash. Because for some reason, Aaron took Ross's car. Or did Ross take Aaron's car? I don't know. I didn't even know they shared a car. Anyway, that car, that's where the gun ends up. So, and as Ross is leaving the farm, he's on the phone to Marlon, and then April appears because she's like, "Oh, you're looking for me. Hi." She tells him everything as well. Oh no, he tells her that he knows, and he's like, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill Ray. I'm gonna kill. Probably would have killed Celia if he'd got the chance as well. But yeah, and I think I've also decided that when Ray took April out to kill her, it should be referred to as being Snow Whited. This also happened in EastEnders too, when Ravi was told by Nish to kill Eve and he didn't. He just left her in the woods. It's called Snow Whited. I'm trying to think if it's also happened in Coronation Street. Maybe they've been told, but yeah, they never find 7 little men to hang out with. But yeah, April got Snow Whited. That Ray was told to kill her and didn't. So yeah, that's my new thing. I guess Graham did it to Joe, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Say, well, why wasn't Joe dead? And yeah, so I don't think we ever found out. Also, can someone also explain to me? I've never thought about the ins and outs and how Butler's farm works, but Ross entered that house through what I thought was the door to the stairs. But is there another door with a hallway there and then there are stairs? Because I thought it was like a back bedroom. The door at the back is like a back bedroom kind of thing. Or maybe that's stairs. But no, I didn't know that there was another doorway to that house. It was a bit weird. And this is where I start to get confused as well, because Paddy sees Ray at this point when he leaves Laurel's, but I thought that's when Arthur saw him too. Or was there a gap? So yeah, Paddy and Ray are kind of going at each other as well, all whilst Graham is just sat there, I think. Again, it doesn't make sense. I need this like long version of Ray went here, Ray went there, this person saw there. Just uncut. Just do it as one take, guys. Please. And at this point, I'm like, Ray is insane. He just believes that he's done nothing wrong and that everybody else is wrong. But then I'm with Dylan on this, that Ray is just as much groomed as Dylan was. But Ray comes with a side of anger that Dylan doesn't appear to really have. Like, there is a good side to Ray, but there's a good side more to Dylan, because Dylan's kind of just a kid. But Ray tells Paddy who killed Bear, and then heads to his car, cool as a cucumber. So yeah, Thursday is where we found out, guys. So really, if you haven't seen it, why are you listening? Come back later. This point, okay? This is Thursday. Everything that's happened really comes together. But we've also got the added extra of seeing Graham lead Ray into the village hall, where Graham beats Ray up, but they're disturbed by Joe Tate. Graham manages to escape like SAS style out of the door. No sound, no nothing. He's hid behind a curtain. But there's kind of a weird look on Joe's face like, what do you mean a crazy person and they've just disappeared? I only know one crazy person. But he hasn't seen him at this point. But I think it sets the cat amongst the pigeons, Roxy, in Joe's head that what? I don't know of one like magician man who could do that. And also, Joe Tate, you really are the epitome of not only curiosity killed the cat, but you've managed to be in the right place at the right time for 2 lots of crime during this period. Like, you're there at the crash and you see Victoria kill John, which I'm so mad about because really the more I think about it, it was self-defense. Anyway, and I did discuss this. I hope we have a new listener this week. And then he's also there. He just happens to catch Ray being beaten up. But to me, it felt too easy to have Graham be the one that killed Ray. It would have felt lazy, if I'm honest. And it's not as it would have been. There wouldn't have been a reason for Graham to be in Jay's van then, because Graham's got his own van and can dispose of him as and when he wants, and we never would have found him. I also found the April Ross stuff pretty good too on Thursday, and like you really saw the Donna side of April kind of come through, going, you can't become a killer for me, Ross. I've done it. I'm living with the consequences of that, because at that stage she still believes she's killed someone. She finds out later she hasn't, but we're in the past here. And it's really like, you can't do that for me. Like, they are bad people. They probably do deserve to die, but not by you. Like, not you, okay? And really, even at this point, it was like, well, Ross is kind of the easy option here to have kill Ray, because, he can just go away for some time and whatever. But, and even Nicola at one point was like, oh, Nicola's being dragged back into things. Laurel's completely overreacting to the bag of Ray's stuff that he's brought back, because I thought, well, actually, if you thought about it, you could just say, oh, he did actually, he left this bag here and he was in such a rush when I kicked him out that he's left it, so please take that away. But it's too late now. I don't know why they just didn't do that. Rona then rings what I assume is Graham and go, oh, it's all sorted now. What? Is it because she, no, I don't know. What do you mean it's all sorted? She just doesn't want him involved. It's not sorted. He's not even got to Ray yet. Ray's not dead. I don't know. I don't know who she was ringing to say it's all sorted now. I thought it was Graham, but the more I think about it, I'm like, what? No. Something's weird here. So Ray's dragged himself out of the village hall, and then he's found Dylan. And he attacks him, kicks him, drags him back into Paddy's, and there's like a fight that ensues between Ray and Dylan and Paddy. Like Paddy throws a hammer and he misses. And even still during this fight, Ray is still like trying to peck at Dylan's head and be like, "This is all on you. I'm a good person. Nobody loves you. They just took you in because they feel sorry for you." And like Paddy's kicked to the ground after he's run in with his hammer, and Ray's like, Ray's gonna kill him. He's like, "You're gonna go meet your dad," because Ray still believes at this point that Bear's dead. And then, Emmerdale, you did this so well, and everyone's like, "Oh, no, yeah, so well," because you put it out there that Bear was dead. And then who walks through the door but Bear, looking larger than life, I mean, he's still like a mess, but he looked big. Because all we've seen of him is like squashed in that little room at the farm, and he's like berated and not fed properly. But he's like, how's he even got to the village? How's he found his way? How has he ended? I don't get how he ended up at Paddy's like at that time. But it's the only way it could be done. It was just serendipity, I guess, that he headed there. He comes through. He's like, boss. Okay. And Ray's like, go outside, Bear. Wait for me. And I thought he was going to. And like Paddy's like, no, Dad, don't listen to him. He told us you were dead. We thought you were dead. And then Bear turns around. He just like picks up Ray, and he gives him what I've since found out. And I think Dylan spoke about this a few months ago. This is what's in my head. Like when Dylan found out that Bear was arrested, he's like, oh, he had a signature move called the bear hug, and he's just like bear hugs Ray, and he squeezes him, and he's not there. He's disassociated with it. He's just like so confused and so ill that he doesn't know what he's doing. He just does it and he does it and he does it and he just kills Ray. And that was where we left it. Now, weirdly, everyone that I've spoken to about this is like, I mean, people are like, I knew it. I knew Bear wasn't dead. I didn't. And I'll be honest here, I could easily say, yeah, I didn't believe it. I fully believed it. I had tiny doubt. Okay, I was like, seems a really crappy ending for Bear. Like, all of that just for that. But it's been known in soaps. That would keep it real, but I'm happy. I let out the biggest gasp when he came through that door. And so did my mum, actually. My mum never reacts to nothing. Like, she's like, yeah, whatever. But she was like, oh, I was like, oh, okay. Wow. So, well played, Emmerdale. I truly took your word that he'd gone, that it was done and dusted. Bear was no more. But yeah, well done. And really, Friday was about getting Ray into the van and dealing with the aftermath of Bear's behaviour. Is that the right word? And Ray, even on Thursday, was trying to get Paddy to be like, it's depression. It's so much more than that. And it was. And that's what allowed Ray to prey on him, that it was more than depression. Like, he's not well. He's not mentally well. He wasn't. So, yeah. So they're trying to, like, calm Bear down, get him to stay inside, get Ray's body, plan to get it in the van in the dark. I'm like, you don't, and even then I was like, you don't know how long that van's going to be there of Jay's. He doesn't, where does Jay live? Because he doesn't live in the village. So why would that van be kept there like during the night? It's not going to happen, is it? I don't even, because he's not like he spends loads of times at Laurel's, like, it just doesn't. So where did he go? What was he doing? Because it was there quite a while, and he says he was getting a bite lot from Laurel's. Right, there's more to that. There's definitely more to that as well. So Bear's feeling he's very confused. He's unwell from the way he's been treated. And really, as well, what I thought was that this whole storyline between Bear and Paddy, it was started by Celia. They were good, and then Paddy got attacked by Celia's stupid dogs. Not all dogs are stupid, but Celia's. They attacked Paddy's. She like gaslit him and played it down. And Bear was like, oh, you're just a wimp, that sort of thing. You're no son of mine because you're weak. And that kind of catalysted it. So for Celia now to be, I'm hoping, dead. I don't know anymore. Better see that body, because I ain't doing this in like 6 years again. Absolutely not. So yeah. So they did. Bear ends up like not realising what he's doing. He drags Ray out and they're like, oh, we'll just do it now. Thankfully then Jay drives off with the body. It actually works out. But then at the end, I don't know where Paddy took Bear. I don't recognise that place. But Paddy locks him in a room. And I just thought at that stage, you're no better than Ray and Celia. I know you think you're protecting him, but you're taking the word of Dylan as to how he's been treated. Paddy, you're the adult here. What are you going to do? Just like set him free randomly? So yeah, so this Paddy's not. It was a blinding performance as well from Dominic Brunt, by the way. Absolutely blinding. But what are you doing, Paddy? You've locked him up. You're the same as Ray. I don't get it. So yeah, this week was a huge win for Emmerdale. I just thought the colouring on screen as well for the flashbacks was absolutely beautiful. Like, and it did string together in the end. I've still got questions, and that reveal that yeah, it was icing on the cake. I've probably not got into depth on Friday as much as I can. I've watched it twice, but I think I'm digesting everything else and the week leading up to it. That was a more just filling in loose ends and the strategic things of what do we do with him now, and how basically we have to work with Bear now. Also, I'm still waiting for that apology for Eve. He says he's sorry that he didn't believe her, but have you said it to Eve? Have you said it to her? Unless he's not upstairs at the... I might need to go back and watch, because Paddy came into the pub and was like, I need to speak to Eve. And I wonder whether he's locked Bear upstairs at the pub. Nah, that'd be too weird. There's too much coming and going there, surely. Where's empty? Is Marlon's old place empty? It's going to bug me. I suppose we'll find out more. And I know Kim's got random cottages about the place. So he might be able to get something out of her because she was being all nice to him. Huh. Where do you think it is? I don't know. Right. Last but not least is Coronation Street. I am a bit all over the place with this. Definitely felt like Emmerdale was definitely the one in my heart this week, but we'll go through it. Right. So David heads off to see Harper. He goes without Shona. So that's kind of David's kind of mainly at the hospital this week. That's where we find him. He's not leaving. No one's getting their hair cut in Weatherfield this week, by the way. Maria's picking up the slack. Bethany's picking up the slack. I don't even know if Hope's still there. So yeah, so he's practically living at the hospital. But everyone's kind of bothered more about Shona because Shona's here. Shona's showing her face, whereas David's there. So let's check in with him soon, I think, as well. Maggie's back to being her usual annoying self quite early on in the morning. Will's running late for school now. He can go back because Daniel's got his suspension lifted after some help from Megan. And it's at this point that Leanne pops into the pub to offer to buy Maggie out the pub. And Ava is unsubtle as ever. Just stay out of it. Just make it out to be Leanne's idea and just play along. But she's not hiding the fact that they planned this. And I kind of get that's not the way to deal with Maggie at all. You shouldn't have done that. But she is annoying as hell. So yeah, get it. Lisa and Carla bump into each other at the cafe. Lisa says that she and Betsy will be the one to move out. Carla kind of agrees with an air of reluctance. So, she's like, okay, fine. But something's not sitting right with her. She's like, no. Megan's trying to pass off her morning sickness. And she makes up an excuse to talk to Will about training. You'll find this out later. I'm so done with Megan and Will. But yeah. So Roy's still writing to this mystery woman, this Alice, and he gets quite short with Nina when she kind of pries. But to me, Roy pries later, although Betsy's asked him to. Roy's playing the same game as Nina is. So he's getting short with her. And we find out it's Hayley's anniversary. It's tomorrow, it's this week. So that's playing on his mind as well. We also see, also with Carl, is his guilt finally kind of showing through? Roddy's speaking to him and he finds out that, Debbie was slapped by Summer. And I feel like he's oh, I'm in deep here. Oh, okay, I see this is having repercussions on him. But we'll see. And Will's starting to, ask questions about why Megan needs to rest. But Eva and Leanne kind of tell him to mind his own business. I really skipped through this week. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. I will do, but at least I sent my notes out like I do EastEnders, where I'm like, this lot, this lot, this lot. But Corrie crosses over a lot more than EastEnders does. EastEnders is very block of people. They might interact. But Corrie, there's a lot of crossover. So we're back to Jodie and Shona. They're kind of discussing the past. And Jodie's like, look, I got this replica tattoo with the one like you got. And they end up arguing. Jodie's like, I sent you a letter. But Shona's like, I never got it. Duh. Wouldn't that come in her head as well? And that Shona feels guilty and Jodie's kind of blaming her for you didn't come back with us. But, Shona was young with a baby. And you moved. And Jodie ends up smashing David's mug in the sink that says world's best hairdresser or whatever. And as Shona's treating the cut that she ends up with on her hand, she kind of opens up more. She says that she forgives Shona. But David returns and tells him that, Harper's doing better. You're okay. Will and Megan, she sort of tells him she's going away for a while. And that the baby she's pregnant with is his. So there's that. Betsy kind of goes to see Carla in the factory, but she's sent off with her tail between her legs. She tries to get things moving again, but no, Carla's having none of it. And Ava and Maggie, they're still at each other's throats. But now he's not looking well. He passes it off as indigestion. But yeah, he's starting to get to him. But I'd say it's 80% Maggie and 20% Ava. A lot of the time Ava's like, nah, that's not right. But she catches the flak for it. So as we've said, it's Hayley's anniversary this week. I'm quite amazed that Roy's 3310 phone still works. I thought they shut that signal down. And he's having to type so slowly because, we know what T9 typing is like. A, 2, 3. No, right, come on. I know you didn't like the smartphone, but even there's got to be better ways than this. Surely you like convenience of typing. Betsy tries to enlist him and get Lisa and Carla to speak to one another. Tell your mate my mum really fancies her. Genius line. Brilliant. That's so Betsy's so real for that. And he does kind of try to do this later before he's heading out to the lake to remember Hayley. And I don't know if it's how I was feeling this week, but the line that Carla said about what I'd give to have a conversation, a pot of tea with Hayley, it nearly had me boiling. But then I think I'd seen a Hayley edit as well. So I was like, oh, I'm done this week. Please, Hayley, come back. Jodie's starting to play into Lily's head that she'll always come second to this baby because biology. And I just feel that's totally untrue. Yes, Lily is getting left by the wayside, but we never really see her anyway. And then suddenly she's here and her appointments and her projects are being missed. But I thought this is what Plat Chat was for. Why are this wider family not stepping up more? What are you doing? Sarah, where you been? Audrey, you're getting on. That's fine. But you've got Bethany. You've got Sarah, you've got Nick. I know Sam and Lily had a bit of a falling out, but they need to be stepping it up and getting around there. And Maria, surely, I'm surprised she's not in Plat Chat these days. You need to work harder, guys. And Jodie's playing to Lily's insecurities when she says that Shona is bound to bond with the baby more than Lily, which I've always believed that Shona loves Lily just as much as any child of her own. She brought that girl up. I'd say she's way more Shona's than anybody else is. It's mad. It's quite reflective of what's going on with Summer and Billy. You could say Billy wasn't a dad, but Summer, he was in so many ways. Same as Todd is. So yeah, I think that's Jodie's own projections that she's pushing out onto Lily there to try and I don't even get her gameplay here to break up Shona's family as revenge. She's a bit messed up. Anyway, Maggie refuses Leanne's latest offer to buy the pub, and then as she does so, she manages the most fake fall off her stool, boom, 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 boom. Oh, she's on the floor. And she says that Leanne shoved her. I don't even know why she feels the need to say that Leanne shoved her. There's no need. And then this kind of aftermath of that, and the more sat around, and then Ben comes in. And he's absolutely, you're sweating cobs, babe. And so he's feeling chest pains. He's off to hospital. At this point as well, Megan has realised that she's bleeding, so she's off to hospital, but quite discreetly and with Will. And so Will's gone, so he doesn't know his family are also going to be at the hospital. Ava says she's left a voice note. And then they do bump into each other, but Will manage to get around it going, oh, okay, I'll come with you. Oh, no. Oh, okay, yep. And even at the hospital, Ava's the calm one for me, but Maggie's palpitations, so over the top. And Maggie's blaming Eva for the stress. And I'm like, but it's you. But this is also, it's playing into that thing of Maggie is a narcissistic mother who's just out, just no one was ever going to be good enough, blah, blah, blah. Ben's there pleading it for it to stop. And the boys are witnessing this as well, but they can't do anything to kind of step in. And, Ben sits there and says, I just want a quiet life. And then we cut to Will looking at the baby scan because the baby is apparently fine. It was just a bit of spotting. And right. Honestly, Corrie, I get it. I get that we need to seek grooming from, it can be done sort of the other way around as to what we've had in the past. But I'm bored. I'm bored by the Will and Megan stuff. Just stop dragging your heels. I don't find it, it's not interesting. I really had to watch these scenes and thought, I don't want to write anything because I'm skipping over it. I can't. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it's just how I'm feeling this week. But yeah. Right. Tracy tries to put Carla off from giving Lisa another chance. They have this weird interaction. Now Tracy's interacting with she's just being slotted in at the moment. She's interfering. She's kind of involved in the Carl and Abby and Kevin thing. She's there. She's poking in the boat. She's turned into Blanche. I've just realised she's become Blanche. Yeah, that's it. So she tries to put off Carla from giving Lisa another chance. She makes the point that Lisa is a terrible cop when it comes to things right in front of her nose. And this kind of sticks with Carla, strangely. And then Carla like heads off and she's like, oh, yeah. I think she's kind of thinking, you're right. Tyrone goes around to see Kevin and he agrees with Kevin that Carl needs sorting. And then suddenly we jump to the next episode and Tyrone's in Debbie's flat where Carl is attacking Carl with his crutch. Like, how did he even get in? Was that a jump? Did I miss something? Did my ITVX jump or something? What? Okay. Lisa's written a handwritten letter to Carla, which is delivered by Ryan. She doesn't divulge what the letter says entirely, just that Lisa wants to meet her for lunch at the bistro later that day. But there was a lot of writing on that page. However, Carla has a lunch meeting with some clients booked at the Chariot Square Hotel. And Lisa says that Ryan told her, that Carla had the letter. But surely he could have also mentioned, by the way, she's got a work lunch booked, so you might need to push it back. Like, Carla's got work to do. Carla's a boss. It was too convenient. So, yeah, I don't know why I didn't mention that. Shona finds Jodie having a bad dream on the sofa. I don't know if this was fake or she is really struggling with something. Like, we know she was tied up in Graham's van, so was there more to this than we know? Okay. I know I'm rushing through and I'm all over the place. I get that. I will do better next week. I'm so sorry. Noticed this week that when Kit walked into the cafe, he was asked to pay like £5.75 or £5.50. He didn't order anything. Had he rung it ahead already, and it was his veggie sausages and poached eggs that were being cooked. Like, he didn't order anything. But he does in that interaction, he does give Roy a bit of one about catfishing, and then he bumps into Jodie in the cafe, and Shona's like intrigued their interaction even, like, she's like, what, there's something going on here. Also, she doesn't introduce, like, oh, this is Sarah's boyfriend. She never mentions that she slept with him, but I suppose you just wouldn't. But yeah, thought Jodie will probably find that out as well. Carl manages to convince Tyrone that he didn't do it and that Kevin's the one struggling and that Kevin's a bit mad, and so he's now like gaslighting Tyrone into believing that both Debbie's wrong and Kevin's wrong, and Tyrone stupidly falls for it because Tyrone is Tyrone. So Lisa's waiting for Carla. She's knocking back quite a bit of wine. Again, I don't know why Ryan couldn't text Lisa and go, you might want to just wait a bit, like, chill your beans. And there's a great line actually from Carla in this time that knickers can't let you down like people. I feel like that should be Underworld's motto at the moment. What's the line? Tagline? Not logo? What is the word? I can't think of it. Ben again he's had enough of the bickering. And once again, I think Maggie was out of order at this. I can't remember what it was, but she was out of order. And he tells them to like sort it out, which her and Ava do end up calling a truce, which he is then weirded out by. I'm like, you can't have it both ways, mate. You can't have them bickering or being nice. Like, it's got to be one or the other. And it was kind of slotted in quite discreetly that Roy was texting this Alice. There's no Alice, unless Alice has got a beard. Like, it's someone else. So who's got a grudge against what? Who is this? Who do we think it is? Because I've missed something here. It was kind of a gingery beard. So who is it? I don't know. Who is it? I'm trying to think if anyone's like due to come back or is going to turn up or is like missing. I don't know. But yeah, so Lisa's rocking up at Chariot Square. She's drunk. She's spilling her guts out in front of Carla and the clients in more ways than one. I am the police, Baldy. I think it both embarrasses Carla and also makes her realise that Lisa's telling her the truth because, you know, she's drunk. So she's telling the truth about how she feels and that she feels the same. So it's Carla's kind of torn at this point. And while Ryan's getting Lisa cleaned up, she dashes away. She's gone. She's not facing her things. But then at the end of the episode, like, I've skipped a bit, but then Lisa's like led out on Carla's lap before like passing out, and before she passes out, she tells Carla that she loves her so much and doesn't hear Carla say it back. So sweet. So Shona is now encouraging Jodie to speak up and speak to someone about what she's going through, and she uses David's previous experiences as an example for seeking help. Jodie takes her advice and manages, by a miracle, to find a domestic violence support group that day in that community centre. Like, wow, cool, quick work. But after another, and I know I've skipped on this, but I think they work together quite well, is that after this other woman speaks out, she tells Shona and she tells the group her domestic violence story. And later on, Jodie opens up to Shona, word for word, this story. Completely lies, thus showing to us that she's completely untrustworthy. And we knew this. We've suspected that the red flags have been showing. And then, like, she ends up at the end of the week helping out at the calf because Nina's needs to go to the cash and carry. So Shona, Jodie even, is like, oh, I'll run this place just like that, you know. No food hygiene certificates, no nothing, no supervision. What? Yeah, okay. But she takes a shine to Carl. Why are we surprised? We're not surprised, are we? Like, peas in a pod. And Shona also questions Kit a bit more and manages to get out of him that Jodie was tied up the night of the crash. She found that she was running from something. And if you go back and watch that bit where Shona and Kit are discussing in the street, the little duck out the way that Jodie does is hilarious. I didn't catch it the first time, and then it's proper like, oh, I gotta move out the way. Right. Carla comes home to a hungover Lisa and runs her through what happened the day before, all whilst making as much noise as possible. She's rattling those pots and pans. She's crashing everything like that to smash, wallop, bang to, you know, she knows that Lisa's hungover and she just wants to stick the knife in a little bit more, which I suppose in another world would be classed as cruel, but it's kind of a joke because at least, like, run me through the bullet points. What did I say? What did I do? But at this point, Carla does actually say, I said I loved you too. They almost go to like kiss, but then Lisa wants to throw up. And they announce their sort of reconciliation in front of the factory lot because Carla's in a good mood. She sent them all home for an early dart, but they all just go to the pub. They come in. And it's really nice, actually, because I think a lot of the time Carla thinks that she doesn't have any, apart from Ryan, who isn't technically blood, relatives on that street anymore. But this community of the factory workers who are now her neighbours really come together and they support her and they love her and they know, like, when she's having a crap day, when she's having a good day, and they come through for her. They absolutely, like, take the mick out of her and get bottles of champagne, but it's all good fun. It's lovely light and shade. Corrie, love it. At this point, she hasn't really told Roy that her and Lisa are back together. Thought he'd like be the first person, but I know he knows that he's in his little world. And now she's going to have all this stuff to deal with when it finds out who's, like, catfishing Roy. As a side note, Megan's, like, trying to give Daniel the brush off and she fails and she's like, going to say, oh, I need him to give me space, but she kind of doesn't. But they end up sort of arguing about Will, which they do a lot of the time this week. And that she tells Will that she can't come see him compete in a race later. However, I think Megan knew that this old mate, this other athletics kid, Lee from Hull, was going to turn up and run against him. And it also transpires that he's had a fling with Megan. Megan tells Will that she wants to start a new life with him. And when the other friend discloses to Will that he had something with Megan and he was hoping to see her, but Megan's given him the brush off and tells him that she's with this teacher, so neither of Will or Lee know what's happened to one another. But then Will finds out from Lee what's happened to Lee, and Will's like, you need to shut it down, you need to not say anything, she could lose her job, blah blah blah, because I think he's protecting Megan in that respect, and also protecting because he thinks he's going to have this brand new life with her. It's not for Lee's benefit at all, like, at all. So yeah, and Sam overhears, so obviously more's going to come out of that as we progress through the next few weeks. So Sam's come into things because he had an interaction with Will earlier in the week, so we know they know each other. We know they don't think they dislike each other. They don't think they're best friends. They just know they live across the road from one another, I guess. At this point, Carla's got her hair up, hair down, and honestly, I thought it was Michelle. Like, there's something about the way Carla has her hair up, the way Ali King wears it. I'm like, is that Kim Marsh? What? So yeah, and even then I was like, but yeah, they are kind of related, so I'm not surprised. And they realise that I don't get how they can. I mean, Sally and Tim must have been shouting at each other something chronic because there is air between those houses, isn't there? I swear I thought they were detached. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's like a long I'm gonna have to look again. They overhear Sally and Tim fighting, and the next thing they know, like, Betsy's gone out and she's let Sally in, and Sally comes out and, oh, I've got them post for you. And then it's like, Sally, you're right. Lisa invites her in, much to Carla's horror, because she's like, I don't need this. We are well back into things, aren't we? If you've got Sally Metcalf coming round. I love this. Adored it. Sally's then like starting on the wine whilst Carla's begging Tim to come and fetch his wife, bring some flowers, which he does eventually. But that's after like they found out why they were arguing. It's because Tim called Sally a Karen. So from now on, I think Carla and Lisa will be referring to Sally as Karen. So you're just going to have to get used to that, which she absolutely is. Find out that Shona's toying with the idea of tracking down the dad in the hope it will sort things out. Now, right, on what planet is this a good idea? This is never going to come to, like, good. This man does not sound dad of the year at all. Like, what is this going to achieve? It's also crossed my mind that there's no reason that their dad can't be Terry Duckworth as well. If I think Carl's dad is, then I definitely think Shona and Jodie's dad is. Is he coming back? Does anyone know? He probably won't be, and I've just made stuff up, but it possibly could. Or we could just have a brand new character, and that'd be nice too. Summer as well. There's not been much Todd Theo stuff this week, but we do see that Summer is still, fair enough, she's struggling without Billy. Like, she says she's fine, but then she starts listening to voice notes, and that's hard. And it must be so exhausting to play Summer at the minute. Like, it's crying constantly, and I get it. You're so real for that, Corey. But yeah, it's a lot. That is a lot. Right, well, I think I've just about summed things up for the week. I'd like to thank everyone that got in touch last week. Sorry about the audio issues. Hopefully we won't have any problems this week. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, would love to hear it. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can email me at outinthewash.pod@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. We've made it to episode 3. Didn't think we were going to get there today. Actually, this has been the hardest one to put out. Like, please tell a friend. Share it in the groups, soap groups. Feel free. Let me know what you think. Thank you for listening. See you next week.